Hey guys, I'm here to talk about The House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. So this is an author I follow, and anyone who follows my reviews knows that I review her quite frequently. She's one of the only romance authors that I really jive with, and it's because she has such a strong similarity to my interests. At least it appears so by how she writes. This book, the main character is an entomologist, okay? So how many of those do you get in fantasy? So she's a middle-aged entomologist who loves bugs. And I'm like, I am so on board for this. So she goes to visit her mom, right? Like her brother calls her. She's like, hey, mom's being weird. And she's like, okay, let me go check what's going on. You know, my archaeologist, she's an insect archaeologist. So her dig got canceled and she's like, let me go check on mom for a few weeks, see how things are going. So things are very strange with her mom. This also has a really strong political. She doesn't usually, unless it's modern, write politics into her books, but this one is definitely the most politically charged that I've read of hers. Once again, we are pretty aligned, so that does not bother me. But her mom is super liberal, and she suddenly has become very weirdly conservative, or at least displaying outwardly. A lot of the things that her grandmother used to do, and her grandmother was a terrible person. Super racist, really mean, very materialistic, cold, abusive emotionally, not really physically. And her mom was just like the opposite of this, and she's slowly morphing into her grandmother, and she's like, what is this? You know, and she's like, what the hell? And then other things are starting to go wrong. Like she's an entomologist, so she noticed that her mom's garden has no bugs in it. Um, and then it starts to swarm with ladybugs. And weirder things start happening. And she starts to hear voices. And like, then she discovers a picture. And it's an old picture. And she's looking at it. And she looks close. And there's a hand coming up from underground, like reaching towards them from under the rose bushes. And her grandmother used to talk about the underground children and how they would come and like they're like the boogeyman version from her grandmother. And it turns out that her great grandfather was like a sorcerer and was dibbling with magic. And so that's kind of where that whole plot takes off, and I'll just leave it there. So it's like a light horror. This is PG-13 horror with a romantic twist. So she falls in love with the master gardener who's there helping take care of the property for her mom since she's older. And it was just a really pleasant book. Like, it's. She writes horror. T. Kingfisher, quote, writes horror because these are creepy stories, but I consider these PG-13 atmospheric, cozy horrors. I know that's not probably a genre, but it is, and she writes it. And 5 out of 5. For these video reviews, I'm not breaking everything down. The prose was great, the characters are great, everything was great. I liked it. And if that sounds good to you, flowers and bugs and magic and underground children with a touch of romance between two middle-aged nerds, this could be for you. I am getting these more concise, under 4 minutes. Thank you so much for watching.